Good morning, guys. I hope you're having a great start to Friday, and I'm really excited to do a quick live video today on are your thoughts actually ruling your life? And if you're not aware of this already, they are, because they're literally controlling everything that you do or you don't do in your day. Literally, because we're instructing our body with our thoughts, we're instructing our life and really constructing what's actually going to happen in our life because of the way that we're actually thinking as well. Hey Chris, great to have you on. So hey Leah, great to have you on too, hun. So definitely, being able to overcome our negative thinking is one of the most critical life skills that we actually really need, because so often we actually believe our thoughts to be true, and it really can create like a lot of emotional pain. I feel like I'm a little bit wonky on here, so I'm just going to straighten that up. So it really can create like massive amounts of emotional pain, because our thinking literally elicits our emotions as well. So when we're telling ourselves things like I'm angry, or I'm upset, or I'm sad, or nobody loves me, or any of those things, it really can be very debilitating then for just even our own emotional health, our happiness, the level of things that we'll actually get done in a day because of how motivated or how inspired that we're actually feeling as well. So knowing how to actually overcome our negative thinking is absolutely critical to living a life that's, number one, like happy and successful. And by successful, I'm not necessarily meaning in material wealth, although that definitely can be. You know, success is determined by whatever you believe is successful for you. So, you know, let's not put any rules or anything on that. So definitely, the more that we can really start to tap into this, start to shift this and change this. Hey Di, great to have you on, hun. It really will actually change and impact your life in a massive way. And one of the main tools that I actually really love to utilize is actually Byron Katie's The Work. And I've spoken about this. If anybody's followed me for quite a long time or done some work with me, you'll know that I've actually taken you through these processes simply because it is one of the most powerful forms of getting leverage on our mind to actually let go of our thoughts that we previously believed. And I know for most people, and it was something that I believed for a long time, was that I didn't have control over my own emotions. I didn't think that I could change my emotions. I thought that my thoughts I just had to deal with, and that was just the way that it was. And I really did believe that they were actually true. And so this is one of the biggest debilitating things, like I said at the start, that really can impact our life. Because if we've got some really crappy beliefs going on, or really crappy thoughts about what is possible or what we can do or who we are, or and a lot of this is actually comes from, you know, when we're from 0 to 7, what we've picked up from our childhood. So it could be even just offhanded comments that somebody really stressed has actually said to us or about us. It really can, sorry, there's just a thing coming up here. Okay. Hey Raquel, great to have you on too, darling. It really can impact, now I've totally lost my train of thought, sorry. It's awesome to have you guys on. So if this is really resonating for you too, definitely send me some love. And I'm really excited because I've actually got my Mickey jumper on. Well, actually it's my daughter's. I stole it from her, but I did buy it for her. So I thought that was kind of gave me permission. It's one of the benefits of having girls that are 15 and 17. We can kind of all mix and match our clothes. So anyway, getting back on topic, you know, when we're actually having those negative thoughts, and I truly believed a lot of my own negative thoughts, particularly around my body image and things like that when I was growing up, and a lot of that came from like people calling me chubby when I was a little kid, and I was a chubby little girl, but I so absolutely took that on, and I owned that, and it became my identity of I'm this fat chubby girl. And it wasn't until I was 32 when I actually really started to break free from a lot of those limiting beliefs as well. Hey Lan, great to have you on, hun. And it really impacted my own self-confidence, it impacted my own self-worth. I think a lot of us, we all have that deep hidden fear around I'm not enough. So sometimes we'll have a story or something that we've picked up along the way that I'm not smart enough, or I'm not pretty enough, or I'm not tall enough, or I'm not rich enough, or I'm not successful enough. Whatever it is, we'll all have a story around, or I'm not confident enough, or I don't love myself enough. All of those things can definitely impact on how we actually feel every single day. But not only that, it's actually determining our future for ourselves as well. So if you're looking to change your future, if you're looking to really get on track with being successful in whatever way that is for you, it could just be feeling happier and more joyful every day, then looking at your thoughts and starting to become consciously aware of what thoughts that you have each day and what you're allowing to influence your thoughts as well. So so often, TV, marketing messages, all of those things are sending us messages about who we believe that we should be, need to be, have to be in order to be loved or in order to feel enough. And I was speaking with a beautiful lady the other day, and she said, I don't watch TV, I haven't watched TV for a long time, but she was saying that there's so many marketing messages that send messages about not being enough, not having the right car, not having the right body, not having the right look, whatever that is. And I think social media, where we're jumping on and we're really comparing ourselves to others, also is, really, really detrimental at times. And I know I've had to really consciously pull myself up and actually go, whoa, where are you going with that? Because my mind was like literally taking something and running away with the story, going, oh my goodness, I'm never going to get there, or I'm not good enough, or these people are so much more successful than I am. And so when we're in comparison, that is the ego mind. It's not our true heart, it's not our true soul, it's not our true self. It's the ego mind trying to be enough, trying to be significant enough, and trying to get on in the world and be safe and be enough to be loved. That's the ultimate for the ego mind. Whereas our heart and soul already knows we are lovable, we are whole, we are complete, we are perfect exactly the way that we are, and we continue to evolve and grow as well. So when there's a lot of thought stuff going on, just know it's your ego mind that's really trying to protect you and trying to keep you safe. But the ego mind is a tool that was built for protection, not for success. So it's a great tool to help us to make some decisions or to take us from here to there. But it is a terrible, terrible master. And when we're allowing our ego mind to run the show, it will always diminish ourselves. It will always try and keep ourselves small, simply because it wants to try and protect itself. So being able to overcome these thoughts of the ego survival mind is one of the greatest ways of bringing you back to your truest sense of self as well. So one of the ways that we can do this is definitely through the Byron Katie work. If you're not familiar, jump onto her website. It's just www.thework.com, and she's got some amazing worksheets there where you can actually go through and start to process and let go of the negative thoughts. Now remember, we have 60 to 90,000 thoughts a day. Somebody, somewhere, someplace decided to count them. I don't know how or anything else, but apparently the data is that we have between 60 and 90,000 thoughts a day. Most of those thoughts are the same thoughts as yesterday. So what we can actually do is start to become consciously aware of what are the thoughts that we're thinking when we feel really flat or when we feel really down. What were we just thinking about? What were we telling ourselves in that moment? And start to become more and more consciously aware of what those thoughts are. I would even grab a journal out and I would actually start to write down some of those thoughts. Once you've discovered what some of those thoughts are, so some of them, I'm not enough, or I can't do it, or it's too hard, or life is too hard. I actually wrote a couple of blog posts about this the other day. So discover, what are my beliefs or what are my thoughts about life, about myself, about what's possible for me, about where I'm at, perhaps about past failures. Maybe you're playing over and over and over in your mind something that you failed on in the past, and of course that's going to take us back to keep repeating those same circumstances, or even if it's not recreating those same circumstances, you'll actually keep feeling those same old feelings as if it's already happened, which eventually will attract that same circumstance again. So whatever we're focused on with our thoughts, whatever we're thinking about with our mind, is literally where we're taking ourselves in that moment. So if you're experiencing some groundhog moments, or perhaps you find that you're getting in the relationship with a similar type man every single time, and it's really, or woman, if you're a man on here. Hey Kylie, great to have you on, hun. If you find that you're really experiencing these Groundhog Day moments, then ask yourself, what are the thoughts that I'm thinking each day that are contributing to me creating this in my life? What are the thoughts that are really stopping me from being able to move ahead? And start to journal, and like I said, have that pad or that journal near you, and start to capture just even a couple of those thoughts. Take yourself to the Byron Katie webpage. Hey Chris, great to have you on, hun. Hey Steve, great to have you on. Take yourself to the Byron Katie webpage, download the worksheets there, and start to take yourself through the questioning process. So the questioning process, if you're going to use a fairly blanket statement, which is I'm not enough, which is a big one for most people, and again, like I said, we'll all have our own story around why we believe that's true, but it could just be I'm not enough. And can I absolutely know that's true? Or can I know that's true? And sometimes, you know, it will feel like it's really, really true. If it's a thought that you've thought for so long, you will actually believe that that's true. And so just be honest with yourself, with where you're at with that. And then you ask yourself, the second question is, can I absolutely know it's true? And that's kind of with the pre-frame or the pretext that if I had to answer yes forever, could I actually answer yes? And so, of course, you know that that's not true forever. So it might just be in the moment you feel like you're not enough. But, you know, if you had to answer that for yes forever, I'm sure there's been moments in your past where you haven't felt like that. Therefore, there'll be moments in your future that you haven't felt like that as well. The third question is, how do I feel when I believe that thought? Hey, Tammy, great to have you on, hun. How do I feel when I believe that thought? And with that, you know, you're going to dig up some pretty deep emotions around this. I actually did this every day for 2 hours for about 7 or 8 weeks straight. It is still one of my first go-tos. I've actually done it already this morning with a couple of different thoughts that I was having that were inhibiting me being able to move forward in a great way. And so ask yourself, you know, how do I feel when I believe the thought I'm not enough? Gosh, I feel like rubbish. I feel sad. I feel like I'm not enough. I feel inadequate. I feel worthless. I feel valueless. I feel sad. I feel heartbroken. I feel whatever's kind of coming up for you. Just keep going through that. Keep asking yourself, how do I feel when I believe that thought? Stay with this process. Make sure you're writing it down. The mind will not find this comfortable at all. So you may find, you know, you feel a bit teary or you feel a bit sad when you're doing this. That is completely okay, and it's actually perfect. Hey Keela, great to have you on. It's actually perfect simply because when you're actually sticking with that, it's like it's sending a message to the mind that this thought is actually really hurting me. It's like picking up a hot coal. You'll only let go of the hot coal out of the fire when you realize that it's actually burning you, when it's hurting you. So you let go in that instant, and that's what this process does. So then you ask yourself the question, how do I feel without the thought? And the mind goes, oh my God, I feel so much better without that. Gosh, I feel like I'm enough. I feel freer. I feel calmer. I feel better. Hey, Brooke, great to have you on, hun. I feel so much calmer. I feel freer. I feel better. I feel like I'm worthwhile. I feel like, yeah, maybe I am enough. All of those things. So take yourself through this process. I promise you, it sounds so simplistic, yet this has been one of the most powerful teachings. I've spent over 150K on my own personal development. This was one of the free resources that I actually came across, and it has been one of the most life-changing experiences that I have for me. And it's so awesome to see you on here, Brooke. It's been forever, hun. We'll definitely have to catch up, darling. I hope you have an awesome day, sweetheart. So definitely, you know, take yourself through this process. Stick with it. The mind will not find it comfortable. Most people are quite do not like to feel their emotions, so they tend to like push the emotions away or suppress them, push them down, not want to acknowledge them. Hey Tammy, thanks for your beautiful message, darling. We tend to like want to push that emotion down. We want to suppress it. We tend to resist it. When we're resisting an emotion, I promise you, it will continue to build. It will continue to bubble away, and it takes so much of your positive energy to keep a lid on that stuff. So what I've discovered is really just diving in deep. Hey Christina, great to have you on, hun. Diving in deep to your emotions, allowing you to really feel them. Seriously, if you actually allow yourself to feel what you're feeling, in my experience, I can't feel that same emotion for longer than 5 or 10 minutes. It literally dissipates, and it's almost like a cloud that comes in. I experience the cloud, and then the cloud leaves. The second that you give yourself full permission to experience what you're experiencing, I promise you won't get lost in your emotions. You won't get stuck in your emotions. It's the resisting the emotions which keeps us stuck, because it's like we won't allow ourselves to actually feel it. Your emotions are there to guide you. They're there to help you. They're letting you know something is off, and normally it's a thought. So you'll have a thought that creates the emotion, but without experiencing the emotion, you're not going to allow yourself to access the thought that created it, that perhaps needs to shift or change. So if you're feeling flat, if you're not feeling great about yourself, like I said before, start to journal on those things, start to get really clear on what those things are for you, and what thoughts that you've been repeatedly saying to yourself over the years. Our thoughts are like onions, so there's lots of layers to them, and if you've said a particular thought, hey Leonie, great to have you on, hun. If you've said a particular thought to yourself for a long period of time, then you are actually going to have to go through that Byron Katie process, you know, several times, perhaps maybe many times, before it just becomes like, oh, I just totally do not believe that anymore, or it's not something that I agree with anymore, or you'll just find you don't have that experience anymore. So it just no longer actually comes up as a thought. And that's what happened with all my body image stuff. It's what came up, what happened with my emotional eating stuff. I used to be in this guilt, grief cycle with emotional eating. It's just, honestly, it's changed my life in so many ways. So if you're really looking to create some shifts or changes, definitely dive in. You can absolutely 100% do that for yourself. If you're not sure on how to actually go about that, or you think I do have some blocks, but I have no idea of what they are or how to start accessing them. Sometimes we all have those blind spots, so it's really great, obviously, to get somebody to help point out some of those blind spots if we're actually not acknowledging them or not even consciously aware of them, because we can only shift or change what we're aware of, obviously. So definitely working with somebody, so whether that's myself or whether that's somebody that you really connect with and resonate with, highly recommend doing that. It will change your life in so many ways. Hey Lily, great to have you on, hun. And hey Amanda. So thanks so much for tuning in, guys. I truly hope that's been helpful. If you've just jumped on, definitely go back to the start. We've got some really great tips in how to overcome negative thinking, and remembering to, wherever you're I guess sitting out energetically, emotionally within yourself, you're going to be picking up thoughts around that same particular thing. So if you're heavily based in fear, or you've got a lot of fear or powerlessness going on, you're going to attract more and more of those fearful thoughts. Or so you have to move yourself up. I won't go into the emotional guidance scale, but it is another tool that I also use as well, where the better, and you've probably found this in the past, you know, when life's going really well, you have better and better thoughts, simply because you're actually attracting and creating better thoughts within yourself as well. And that's how we really create that upward cycle where life honestly can just get better and better. You feel totally empowered in order to be able to continue to create those changes, knowing full well that you are in control of not only your thoughts, but being able to take action, because you now feel great within yourself as well, because you've set yourself free. So have an amazing rest of your Friday, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Lots of love to you all, and lots of gratitude for you, and have an amazing day. Bye for now.